December football is here, and the Miami Dolphins are standing on the edge of what could either be a triumphant resurgence or another season of unfulfilled potential. For fans, this is the time when hopes are high, but so are the stakes. The Dolphins, now 5-6, have fought their way back into relevance after a dismal start, but the road ahead demands nothing short of perfection. As the final stretch of games looms, critical questions about this team remain unanswered. Let's dive into the heart of the matter. The loss of Jaelan Phillips in Week 4, followed by his ACL tear in September, hit hard. This wasn't just a blow to the defense, it was a gut punch to the team's morale. Phillips was one of Miami's spark plugs on defense, and his absence has forced younger players to step up, ready or not. Tyus Bowser, claimed off waivers, hasn't been the solution many hoped for, but rookie Chop Robinson is starting to show flashes of potential. On the other hand, Bradley Chubb's return is still a question mark. Coming off a patellar tendon injury, there's cautious optimism that he could see the field in December, but nothing is guaranteed. Miami's cautious approach with both players underscores just how much is riding on their recovery. Here's a riddle. How does the NFL's most explosive offense from the last 2 seasons suddenly struggle to hit the deep shots that defined them? Defenses have adapted, throwing constant 2-man coverage to stifle Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Add to that the absence of Tua Tagovailoa for 4 games due to a concussion, and the results speak for themselves, subpar seasons for both star receivers. But it's not all doom and gloom. Devon Achane has been a revelation, racking up 935 total yards already, and Jonnu Smith is quietly piecing together the best season of his career. These complementary pieces are stepping up, but will it be enough to compensate for Hill and Waddle's quieter-than-expected year? The Dolphins were a juggernaut on the ground last year, finishing second in rushing yards per game. This season? A stark drop-off to 16th. The offensive line hasn't been terrible, Aaron Brewer has been effective in his role, and guards Liam Eichenberg and Robert Jones have held their own despite nagging injuries. But something's not clicking in the outside zone runs that were their bread and butter last season. Raheem Mostert's struggles, 3.6 yards per carry, haven't helped either. With December ahead, Miami has to figure out how to revive this part of their game. Without it, their offense feels incomplete. If there's one area where Miami's offense consistently stalls, it's short yardage situations. 3rd and short, 4th and short, it doesn't matter. The ground game simply hasn't been reliable enough to convert when it matters most. Injuries to Alec Ingold and Julian Hill have played a role, but this problem feels systemic. For now, the Dolphins seem content to lean on Tua's precision passing in these situations. It's worked at times, but can they afford to ignore the ground game in these critical moments for much longer? Terron Armstead has been a revelation this season, a stabilizing force on a line that's dealt with its fair share of adversity. But keeping him healthy has required a careful balance, limited practices, strategic rest, and calculated in-game management. With Austin Jackson already sidelined, the Dolphins cannot afford to lose Armstead. If there's one certainty, it's this: Armstead's health might be the key to whether Miami's offense thrives or flounders in the coming weeks. Despite being ravaged by injuries for a second straight year, Miami's interior offensive line has been surprisingly effective. Brewer's ability to make second-level blocks has been a highlight, and even Eichenberg, playing through shoulder issues, has performed admirably. Isaiah Wynn's impending return could bolster this group further, but there's no denying the pressure they're under. They've done just enough to hold things together, but can they do more? Crossing routes tormented Miami last season, exploiting the soft spots in their zone coverage. This year, under Anthony Weaver's direction, the story has changed. Jalen Ramsey's versatility has been a game-changer, and Kader Kohou's development has been another bright spot. Yet, the safeties, Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer, haven't lived up to expectations. Their improvement could be the difference between a good defense and a great one. Meanwhile, getting Kendall Fuller back from his concussion would add another layer of stability to this group. When Christian Wilkins left for the Raiders, questions swirled about how Miami would fill his shoes. Enter Calais Campbell. The 16-year veteran has not only matched Wilkins' production but has brought invaluable leadership to the locker room. Zach Sieler has also stepped up, proving that the Dolphins' defensive front remains a strength. Together, Campbell and Sieler have made Wilkins' departure feel less like a loss and more like a strategic shift. For all the strides Miami's defense has made, their inability to create turnovers has been glaring. With just 11 takeaways on the season, they're far off last year's pace. The pass rush has been inconsistent, which hasn't helped, but there's hope on the horizon. Chop Robinson's recent surge and the potential return of Kendall Fuller could be the spark they need. If the defense can start flipping the field, it could change everything for this team.